I guess I'm starting.
Start.
Most of you who've been, well, there's a few of you who don't know who I am, but most of you know my name is Roxanne Jervis, and I have been painting since I was 18, actually maybe before then. Been doing landscape all that time and began developing my painting technique with an artist called M.F. Kusal, Michael Kusal. He was in Bridgeport, Ontario. I was living in Kitchener. And he did the centerfold this size of the Toronto Star weekend paper year-round, full painting. And he painted Northern Ontario. He taught with a brush and a palette knife. And that's how I learned it. Everybody who took from him painted exactly the same way he painted. So you do see artists out there now who are teaching Kusal 101. I still have my first painting, and I can see Peter Snyder, Ethel Snyder, he took at the same time I did with Mike Roth. Peter ended up doing paintings all about the Mennonites, but Mike Roth teaches Kusal style. So one of the things that the group of us decided to do was try to find other artists that would help us develop our style and not paint Kusal style, which was a real challenge because Don Hall, he would say, if you're doing a painting and I see Kusal on your canvas, I'm going to take it off. So I'm happily painting, and he comes up behind me, takes the palette knife, and scrapes all the paint off my painting. This is oil. But it really did a good job on getting us to learn what we could from everybody else and then develop our own subject matter and our own style. One of the girls painted frog ponds, water lilies, and everything. Another lady, she did portraits. And the landscape painters, we all ended up with different work. Then I ended up not being able to be around turpentine. So my later work was all palette knife. And only since I've been teaching, I teach seniors through the City of London, a lot of brush painters, I've started doing some brush work again. So you're going to see a lot of different things. After that, I moved to Shakespeare in 1975 and opened up an English tea room called Harry Tenchilly. I had that for 22 years. And then I was also going to University of Waterloo at night, studying all of the fine arts programs. I didn't do any academic, but if I went and took psych and English and all that, I'd have a Bachelor of Fine Art. In the 80s, there's a Canadian artist called Elizabeth Berry who came into my shop, and she saw my paintings because I was selling them on the wall. And she said, I really like your work, but you're missing something. You're missing the ability to paint on plein air, outside. And she told me what to start looking for. Look at the grass. If you see grass in the summer, it's not green. It may have twitch grass, which makes it a purple or a red tone. There's undertones of umbers, there's undertones of sienna, and that's just the grass. Your skies are not always blue sky. They're not all cerulean blue or ultramarine blue. There's different shades of blues in there. And what I tend to do when I'm painting is I take the blue that's in the sky and I clean off the brush or the palette knife on the bottom. It's almost like an underpainting where your work beneath will show through and it will give it a more around the whole painting look. So how many people have painted outdoors on a regular basis? And how many haven't?